I mean, we're talking, some of these guys would sit there and slice your throat for a nickel.
Well, and first of all, did you hear what you just said? They became lawyers and judges, which are the people that the parents would have needed.
Their parents, okay, it's just like The Godfather, where Robert Duvall became a consigliere. But they basically sent them to college. They become respected. All of them became respected politicians. They became respected doctors. And they basically were harder on criminals than you could because of their parentage.
And they understood it.
They understood it. They would throw the book at people. You know, they feel sorry.
They probably understood the tough love.
Yeah, but they
really
would tell, you know, that we understand. You know, I'm sorry. I said, I know. You know, when they give the thing, I know your parents are good parents. But they did something wrong, and they have to pay the penalty for what they did, even though they are good parents. Salinas, California, is basically, if you notice, there's only one street in the Salinas because the mafia can get out the backside. I know a lot of people over in that area, but they got the most god-awful good families, and most of them never enter the business. I do not know the son of one gangster that ever entered the business. Because the parents didn't want them in that. I don't want you doing this. Is why I didn't go to school. I didn't graduate from school.
I want you to go to a good school to get a good job, and then.
And you go out and earn your money, you know, the hard way. I mean, they said, I earned it the hard way, but they'll give you a lecture. I earned it the hard way, but I earned it the wrong way. Don't give the lecture. I mean, if I ever catch you doing something wrong, I'll take the leather strap to you, even if you are 60 years old. But. Well, you do. I mean, my mother basically loved the guys, you know, the family, husbands, wives, but to me, you know, keep your sisters away from their sons because you know what their fathers did for a living. So, you know, but that's it. But, you know, so then, you know, if you know that your sister is seeing one of these guys that eventually ends up a Supreme Court justice in the state, that you tell her not to go out with the person because his father was a stinker? Or do you just simply figure that your sister is smart enough that she's not going to go bopping the wrong person? It's not easy being an adult. It's not easy being a human. Monkeys and most primates don't worry about it. But we're the only primate on this planet that really worries about whether you're doing right or wrong all the time. And most of the time you're going to do wrong.
Yeah.
So you've got a better idea of how to handle a situation, you know, well, go see your priest. Dump it off on the priest, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dump it, well, you know, depending on which religion you are in.
Go dump it off on the rabbi.
The priest or rabbi or whomever may or may not have relationships.
Yeah, look, I do remember, got my family and Jewish folks, like rabbi. I don't want to know. You know, go and say, here's one. I love this. The guy, you know, this is one of the member told me, Rabbi, you know, the young lady goes to the rabbi to tell the rabbi that she's got a problem, and want to know how she should handle it. You know, I don't want my parents to know. And he reaches into his wallet, pulls out money, and says, "Go hire a psychiatrist." You know, just reaches in the money for a psychiatric session. I don't want to know what your problem is. I know your parents, and I don't want them to, you know. So that was his answer to the, you know, the thing. Here's some money. Go.
Well, I mean,
to the
I'm just
doctor.
thinking about it because it's like, could you imagine everything that the priests hear?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine what lawyers hear?
Yeah, lawyers are basically lawyers. You know, lawyers and priests can be thrown into jail for not telling people. If you know a crime has been committed and you didn't tell people about that crime, you're still guilty. So that's the whole trick. There is no.
But you're hired to protect them.
And the law is
That's your
supposed
job.
to. Yeah, the law is supposed to protect you, but it doesn't protect you from contempt of court. And you can be tossed in jail for years for contempt of court, but just imagine, like. I'm an adult, so I've gotten used to it. Can you imagine, let's say a 13-year-old being told that a 12-year-old is doing something the 12-year-old shouldn't be doing? Like I said, do you go tell the parents, or do you just sit on it and hope that the 12-year-old is actually smarter than what you think they are? They never are.
That's right, they never are. Remember how smart you thought you were when you were 12?
Yeah.
And you thought you were smart at 12.
Yeah, like one of my grandmother's examples was this. my father said, well, let the boy go out and get into trouble. Like you did, and it didn't do you any harm. So
Well, the other end is to be so, let's see,
yeah,
so protective
yeah.
of the kids, so that when they're not around you, then they really
Yeah.
go out of their way to.
Oh, I've known Italian fathers in the entertainment business that are so protective of their daughters that the daughters basically, they don't meet anybody at home. Basically, what happened is instead of the fathers meeting the guys the girls are going out with, they're doing the going out with them. They'll go over to some girl's house, and then she'll say, "Oh yeah, she's in the bathroom right now. She'll call you later. She's having her nails done. She'll call you later." But they don't want the Italian fathers to know they're going out with somebody the fathers approve of. The same thing. It's the way it is.
Well, it's kind of like, a lot of the families. Like, okay, for example, you're German.
Yep.
Right? So you grew up, Germans drink beer,
Yeah.
Italians drink wine. So it's just a natural part of their
that's why.
meals.
That's like when the sorority girls, you go get us, a couple of cases of beer. Okay, because I grew up in beer halls. We'd go to
Before you were of age.
We don't go to house.
With family.
We go to house brawls, which were basically early versions of buffets, and they bring out the big beer, and everybody would be drinking beer. We didn't have soda pop there. You had like tea, coffee, and beer. And the tea was also, you did not want to drink tea made in Southern California back in the old days. The water was horrible. So we drank the beer, because, they didn't carry milk in hot bras, but I didn't know you weren't supposed to drink beer.
Until you were of legal age.
Yeah, until I got old enough to drink beer, because the trick is, let's see, if I was the person with my same name that went into the military, I would tell you that if I was that same person, he drank warm beer in Vietnam, and 50 years ago, and they said, well, what are you drinking warm beer for? He said, that's terrible. And I said, because when they put the beer down on the Hofbräu, it's basically from the tap, and it sits there. They bring out 1, 2, 3 pitchers of beer, and the beer is always warm when you get to whatever it is. So that person that has my same name would have simply said, you got used to drinking warm beer. That was normal, beer at room temperature. So, but I didn't know it was wrong. Italian kids don't know drinking wine is wrong.
They grew up around it.
The French kids don't know that drinking spirits is wrong. The Latinos don't know that because they drink a lot of wine and stuff with their food dinners. But according to the law, it's wrong. But there's a problem too, culture. Culture plays a big part of, I'm German and Irish, which means so naturally, that's what I said, because I'm the eldest male in the family that's reserved to me. But we'll put it this way, when I got to be in my 30s, and I'm older than their fathers, the kids be coming to me, well, you're not like my dad. You're one of us. Well, I'm pushing 40 years of age, and I'm old enough to be your father's father, but you're not like them. I'm exactly like them. But because I didn't snitch, I was all right. Now, like I said, I've been doing this for many years. But that's one thing. I don't know. She's got lots of. I guess actually most of your relatives are all female too, aren't they?
No, I'm kind of all ages.
Yeah, but you got an awful lot of girls in your family, and because she's not a spring chick is the worldly one, so they can come to her because she's worldly. She knows. Yeah, but how does she know? Yeah, how does she know? The same way that the mother and father knows. This is an old one from Benjamin Franklin. You never learn from what you did right, you only learn from what you've done wrong. So the more you do wrong, the smarter you are.
Well, and then part of it is sometimes the more you clamp down, the wilder they become. Think of the preacher's daughters.
Oh God,
those types of things.
Is it true what they say about preacher's daughters? Oh God, yes.
The reputation.
The Pointer Sisters were preacher's daughters, and I remember Johnny Carson once. Is it true? And she said, yeah, for about when we were 11 years old. So. And they said the parishioners, our father would, one of the church, I heard another preacher's daughter, well, our dad would go from parish to parish in Louisiana. They said not because he was being transferred, we just ran out of guides.
Oh!
Yeah.
And then it all gets back to the parents.
Yeah, and they get back to the parents and they have to move out of the area. So, yeah. So, well, you can't have a preacher's daughter, really personally knowing almost all the males in the parish down in Louisiana, because it does get around.
Mm-hmm.
But, no, it is the worst part about being a human being, is that people tell you things that you're not supposed to tell people, and you're almost always wrong with either direction. Whatever you do is always going to be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you do?
Yeah, we'd love to hear your input on this one, because I'm sure a lot of you have mixed opinions depending on the situation.
Oh yeah, and the situation, I would think if you absolutely knew that the person was going to do something that was going to hurt them,
you need to say
then you have to say it, because it's just something. Other times you basically count that the person is smarter than what you give them credit for. But if you know that they're going to do something that is going to end up with them getting hurt,
or they're hurting somebody else.
Or they're hurting somebody else, then you have no choice in the matter.
Yeah.
So that's my advice. That's for a licensed veterinarian.
Give us your input. We'd love to.
I deal with a lot of primates in my life, so until then, we do really want to hear, because I have no solution. Like I said, I've been here a month ago.
That's why Ann Landers are so popular.
Yeah, but Ann Landers, how did Ann Landers know what she knew? Because she grew up in an ungodly wealthy family, and basically it was a completely dysfunctional family, and she basically learned from everybody around her. Most people that give advice from first-hand knowledge. And you say, well, how in the world did you know that if you did this, it was going to result in that? Well, because I did that. I've got such, like they said, I remember before Robert Mitchum died, they asked Robert Mitchum when he was getting older, and basically, I think he went to Disneyland the day before he died, and he had a fight with somebody, which was Robert Mitchum. They said, at this stage of your life, Mr. Mitchum, if you could do it all over again, what would you change? He said, not a damn thing. I had one hell of a time. So would I change? I do know that if we're going to try it this way, philosophically, everybody is headed down a road in life. You're always going to get to the end you're supposed to get to. You just might not get to it by taking the right road. I've taken so many roads to the right and left, it's unbelievable. So, but would I change it? No, because I know that it's not going to make any difference. You can go to the right, you can go to the left, you can go to the right, you can go straight ahead. It's just a matter of when you get to the end of the road. I'll take the high road, you take the low road, we'll still meet in Scotland at the same time. So, philosophical. She's got, she could do, we could do, why does the mighty pine tree live so long? Because it's learned to bend in the wind. That was my Indian. But until next time, this is Old Gal.
And this is not a spring chicken. We're here yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And for more information,
you can go to www.montybubba.net on the net, which actually almost had changed the website last night.
And join us for our daily newscast in 3D. And the best part is if you didn't get the news today, you can always go back, because ours is always on the internet.
That's right.
And
you can find out if you want to go back and check what somebody, the headline is something stupid a year ago. Actually, we're up from a year. It's there somewhere. We have 14,000 of our produced videos on the internet.
So you can catch them on the internet. And wherever you're watching us, subscribe to us, follow us on Twitter, and thank you once again for reporting.